Hey, hello, hi, Alice is I, and today we're taking a look at Super Mario 64. One of the reasons being it's made in Japan, so I still think it counts as Asian gaming and culture. The other reason being nostalgia. See, first time I played Super Mario 64 was on the Nintendo 64 somewhere in the late 90s, early 2000s, so I must have been around 10 at the time. And even though Super Mario 64 is a pretty straightforward game with a lot of information on how you beat the bosses, at the time I didn't know English. So let's have a look at what some of my challenges were, shall we?
Bye-bye. Press start to play.
So immediately when you go into the game, one of the first challenges is this wall of text. As you can see, it tells you how to read signs and stuff. And this is on the Nintendo Switch that I'm playing this right now, so obviously it won't say the same buttons as on the Nintendo 64. However, here's just one example. It says press A to read signs. And thing is, when you're 10 and you don't know English, this just looks like a bunch of letters that's warped together. Like, I know that's a P, I know that's an R, I know that's an E, and I know those two are S's, which in Danish are pronounced P-R-E-S-S. And so it's like, no, I know the letters. They probably spell out something. I just don't know what it is that they spell out because I don't know English, so I can't read it yet at this point. Which leads us to other fun little challenges. So just this one. Like, I think it's quite nice to know what the jump button is in a platform game. Like, the jump button is the most important button to know. Now, luckily for me, I do know these letters, and so I can just look at my controller and see that there's an A and a B on the Nintendo 64 controller. There's only an A and a B in a set, and then the little yellow buttons, right? So I can just say, I'm quite sure you press A to jump on the 64 and B to punch, right? And so I can just look at the buttons and see, oh, there's an A, and this is highlighted or like in bold writing, so I guess I'm supposed to do something with these buttons. Which means I test it out. I scroll through this without reading and just test out the buttons once I'm out of that little white thing. So I run around and press A, and I discover, oh, A is the jump button. Oh, and B is the punching button, so I can jump and I can punch. That's very, very nice. So anyway, Super Mario 64 is a pretty straightforward game. You just go into Peach's castle, right, where you're greeted by Bowser, who says, no one's home, get lost. And, when you can't read English, that doesn't really matter. You can just hear the laughing and you get a little scared, and then you find Toad in the wall, just chilling. And he kind of explains to you what's going on, with Bowser stealing the stars and Bowser stealing the princess, and how you can beat the game by collecting stars from different paintings. But when you're 10 and you don't know English, that doesn't really matter. You don't have any idea what you're supposed to do. You just know there's a bunch of text that you don't know how to read because it's in a foreign language. So, yes. So what I did was, instead of inspecting the paintings, I ran around the castle aimlessly and learned the buttons. I found out how I could swim in the castle pond. I found out how I could crouch. I found out how I could change the camera angle. And as mentioned, I found out how to jump and punch. And eventually I found the Z button at the bottom of the controller. Found out I could crouch, and if I jumped, I did a backflip. And if I punched while crouching, I would do breakdancing. I also found out that Mario can crawl if you press the crouch button and press forward, which I entertained myself with for hours, just crawling around outside the castle. When I wasn't outside the castle grounds, I was in the castle garden. These were the two locations I learned how to find, and coincidentally, these two locations are the ones that give you the most information on how you use the controllers. It shows you how to jump, how to double jump, how to triple jump, how to jump up a wall, how to side jump, which I still can't figure out half the time because when I get it, it's purely by accident. It tells you how to punch. You can double punch, triple punch, you can kick, you can jump and kick, you can run and jump. Like, you can do a bunch of things to get really far, and it explains all of this to you outside of the castle and in the castle garden. But when you're 10 and you don't know how to read English, that doesn't really matter. So you're still left to just guessing as you go. Now, as I am just running around the castle aimlessly, figuring out the buttons, you know, just being a 10-year-old who don't know English, I see that there are stars on these doors with numbers. And so I understand numbers, I know what a star shape looks like, and I remember there was one in the little castle garden. The statue. So I figured, I have to go there and get the star from the statue somehow. And I tried climbing on top of it because I thought I could get a star from there. I kept just trying to get up there. I think I might have even drowned trying to get up there, which, you know, in this tiny little fountain, it's very difficult to drown. So that shows you how much you struggle with this game that is super simple when you're 10 and don't know English yet. So you can't read any of the instructions that you're getting, even though all of the instructions are very useful. You can see even when you go into the room with the Bob-omb painting, like once you finally find that room, running around the castle, there's one door you can go into. It just has this huge painting in there, a bunch of little plaques with a bunch of text that tells you how to do different things, like jumping, punching, like, you know, like the same thing you can find outside the castle grounds and in the little castle garden. A lot of useful information, which, when you're 10 and you don't know English, doesn't really matter. Eventually, I did get curious about this painting, ran up to it, and I saw it kind of moves when you get close to it. I wonder what you can do. And my uncle had been over at a point and jumped through it. So I was like, I will do the same. And obviously, when you jump into the painting, you get into the world where you actually get the stars, and it shows you how to get the star. It has some text on how to get the star. Like, well, not how to get the star, but, you know, the course name kind of gives away where the star is. But when you're 10 and you don't know English, that doesn't really matter. So you just go into this painting. Clearly you can talk to these bombs. They'll walk you over the buttons. Once again, doesn't matter. So you just, well, I just ended up running around a lot. And, trying to figure out the map. Until eventually I made it up this hill, which, let me tell you, on a Nintendo Switch, I think that's a bit more difficult than on the Nintendo 64. And there are multiple reasons I think that. One of them being the stick on the Nintendo 64 is, well, the stick on my Nintendo 64 controller, it's very tight, I guess, or like not as responsive. And one of the reasons it's not that responsive is because we also had Mario Party on the Nintendo 64. And you know Mario Party on the Nintendo 64, some of you maybe, where some of the games you have to fish for something, and to reel in whenever you fish for something, you have to jerk the stick in circular motions, and you get blisters all over your hands. But as a result, the little controller stick also, it's not as responsive as the Switch stick is. So yeah, sometimes it can be troublesome to fully control, and I will give you an example of this later when I play more of the game. But anyway, you go up to this mountain, you meet Bob-omb. He basically gives away how to beat him. He's like, yeah, yo, if you can grab me 3 times and throw me to the ground, you'll get a star. So, like, nothing super complicated, nothing too overwhelming. Very simple. You get up behind him, you grab him, and you throw him. As you can see, I forget that I need to stop running to actually grab him. But anyway, it's very straightforward, very simple, nothing too over the top. But when you're 10 and you don't know English, it doesn't really matter that he told you how to get him, because you just won't know. You'll just run around and be scared and not understand what you're supposed to do. Until you become older. And as you can see, now that I understand English, I'm very happy. Oh, there was my sideways jump. Very, very nice, very nice. Anyway, so you finally make it, you get the star, you can get out of the painting, and you can get into the painting again, or you can open more doors with your stars. So I'll just show the second level of the first pop-up painting. It's another very, very simple one. All you have to do is find this turtle guy and race him to the top. The only thing is, he knows a shortcut that I do not think you can take as Mario. I've tried taking it and it doesn't work for me. So if anyone has done it, let me know. But yeah, you just have to race him to the top and you get a star. And that's all there's to it. Very simple, very straightforward, very easy to win. And so as you gather these stars, you can open more paintings. You can see I have 2 stars now. We have paintings, or we have doors that has a picture of a star with the word 3 or with the number 3. And this with a star and the number 1. And obviously that means if you have 1 star, you can open these doors. If you have 3 stars, you can open the other doors. And so this door leads to another painting where you can beat another bus. It's another very simple one. All you need to do is, once you get here, you need to sneak past these flowers as one of your first challenges. It's not that simple, but like basically, you need to run to the very top of this castle that you get to find this block guy. And now you have to gamble with your life. Basically, if you run around too much, he won't fall down, and you want him to fall down so you can jump onto his back. Not like that. But you need to jump onto his back where the little band-aid plaster in the shape of an X is. And then you need to ground pound him. Not like that either. I promise I will get this. It's not as complicated as I make it look. I'm just doing really bad jumps at this point. But yeah, beating him is very simple. You just do that, and you do it 3 times. The same with the pop-up, you just had to throw him 3 times. Yeah, very straightforward, nothing too complicated about it. It explains it to you in text. And I remember when I was younger, I never made it past the first level in the first painting because I didn't understand English, so I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do. But now that I know it, I'm very happy about it. Obviously, you can continue collecting stars and open more of these secret doors, secret levels. And also, what I found out as I played the game was, in some of the levels there are some really easy power-ups to get. Or 1-ups. There are some really easy 1-ups to get. And 1-ups is basically, it's a green mushroom that gives you extra life. For instance, in the Bob painting, one little 1-up mushroom you can get is at this little bush here. Let me show you. You get into the painting. You don't have to talk to the little red bob-ombs. Or these little red bombs. I forget their names. You don't have to talk to them. You can, if you want to. They give you a lot of good information on how to beat the level. But basically what you want to do is, you want to run this way over here and cross this bridge. You can, of course, punch the Goomba for some coins if you want. You don't have to. Be careful of the chop-omp. It can hurt you. But you just keep running this way, up these stairs. And instead of going for the mountain, you go for these flower beds. You specifically go for this flower bed, collect all the coins, and there is a 1-up. A very easy life to get, and the good thing about these paintings is you can go in and redo a level you've already done, or you can go in and get out of the level once you collected your 1-up. It doesn't really matter. So that's one way to get a really easy life. Another way to get a really easy extra life is in this second painting that we went into, where you saw me beat this concrete dude. Again, the way to do it is you run to the top of the castle. Be careful not to fall with these platforms that move. It's really annoying. You have to start all over. They're very easy to not fall into with a little bit of patience. So yeah, you run to the top here. You cross over here, where this little flower is sleeping. And then you cross over here. Be careful because the camera kind of does change its position a bit, so it can be difficult to cross over and not fall, especially with a stick that's very, very responsive. You wait for this thing to turn around so you can cross over, and you be careful not to get caught by this guy, and then basically you jump up the flagpole and you just climb all the way to the top. And once you reach the top, there's your 1-up. Another 1-up is not as easy to get. It's easy to get to, but it takes some kind of timing and you being good with the stick. Is you go up here to this door and open it with one of your stars. In here is a bunch of windows with pictures of Peach. You go to this one to the right. It has a secret entrance. In here you can do a timed event that kind of prepares you for one of the levels. And so all you have to do is slide down this carpet. You collect some coins on your way down if you can. And yeah, it's quite simple. It's not too risque. There's the power-up. As you can see, it flies away very quickly. So if you don't catch it, you don't catch it. But if you do catch it, that's another easy 1-up to get. And down here is also a star. You just go to this little box here and jump up into it, and there's your star. Very, very easy star to get. All you have to do is literally slide down a carpet behind a secret painting. That's all you have to do for that star. It's so easy to get. And I believe once you have 10 stars on this sun space we're standing on right now, at some point you can look up to get a level where you can fly in the sky to get a red button that gives you the flying cap. That's the only special cap that I know where is, because you do need some special caps to finish some of the levels. Anyway, let's go ahead and unlock some doors. This ship, well, that level I hate because it's underwater and you have to really be good at the swimming, which, I mean, when you jerk around outside the castle and just swim in the pond, you can become very good at swimming. But you can't hold your breath, so in that level I know there are some parts of it where you have to find air bubbles that you can find and get some more air. Anyway, I'll go in here to this snow level and I will show you. This is where even as you become better at English and find where the 1-ups are, you can see I have 6 lives now because I've collected those 2 1-ups from those 2 levels that are super easy to get. And I like to have multiple lives, in part because of this level here, which is a sliding level on ice, but not as simple as the one in the castle. Let me show you. Finally, after dying a bunch of times, we finally get it. I noticed there was this arrow on the wall and I was like, oh, can I get some secrets up there if I wall kick? So I tried a wall kick and as you can see, my timing is a bit off. You know, sometimes I'm lucky with the wall kicks. I'm not always good at them. It really requires timing. So yeah, I struggle here a bit to get the wall kick, but that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I keep running back and forth. I really want that wall kick to see if there's a secret, and there wasn't. So that was a waste of my time. It doesn't really matter. Out here is your star. I would recommend, before going to get that star, you could hear there was a penguin. She's part of the next level, you have to give her baby to her. So go talk to her before you get that star. She will tell you what you need to do for the next level. Which is also a pain in the butt. But anyway, yeah, that was just me reminiscing a bit about Mario 64 and the troubles I had with it when I was younger, and going through some of the levels now that I'm older to show how difficult they can still be. But really, I do enjoy this game. I really, really do. I wish I had a screen recorder because, as you can see, I've recorded with my phone. It's pretty decent quality. But yeah, no. I wish I did have a screen recorder so I could record more properly of this gameplay and maybe just do some gameplay of it, because it's a game that I really enjoy and it's so much more fun playing it now that I'm not 10 and do understand English.
Thank you guys so much for watching our video.
If you liked our video, make sure to give it a like, and if you like what we do, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell.
See you guys in the next one.
Bye!